In 1800 on Wimbledon Common, the decaying remains of the notorious highwayman Jerry Abershaw, hanging in their public gibbet, stood witness to one of the biggest ass-kickings of the pugilistic era. The championship of all England had stood vacant for 5 years, ever since Jackson had stripped it from Mendoza, despite retiring almost immediately. It wasn't until the grandson of the former champion Jack Slack agreed to fight the Irishman Andrew Gamble that the issue was resolved. Gamble was big, strong, highly skilled, and had a great record. Jem Belcher was a relative newcomer but had the backing of several powerful men, including Jackson himself. They agreed to fight on Monday, the 22nd of December, but either Gamble himself or some of his backers, knowing the fight would not be a simple matter, decided to leave nothing to chance. 2 nights before the fight, Belcher visited a public house and was followed in by 4 men. They immediately started mocking and insulting him, but Jem attempted to rise above it and ignore them, at which point one of them struck him, and the other 3 closed in to assist. They had underestimated their man, though, by quite some margin. Belcher stretched the first assailant out on the floor before the others had even reached him, and in less time than it takes to describe it, he laid 2 more alongside him. The 4th man turned to flee, but Belcher's blood was up. He sprinted out of the pub after him and caught him by the collar. To use the words of a contemporary writer, he then kicked him on his seat of honour until the fellow howled for mercy. When the day of the fight came, Belcher had every incentive to make Gamble pay. Because the fight was to be held in public, the crowds were huge. Upwards of 20,000 people gathered in the shadow of the gibbet to watch. The Prince of Wales was unable to be there due to ill health, but the Duke of Clarence was there, and many other peers of the realm. There were also many other famous names of the ring present: William Waugh, Paddington Jones, Bill Richmond, and John Jackson, to name but a few. The fighters stripped off their shirts and stepped into the ring. Despite standing almost 6 feet tall, Belcher was significantly outweighed by Gamble, but this was not a contest that was going to be decided by size. Gamble was the first to throw, but Belcher disdainfully stopped the blow and replied with a viciously fast combination, hitting Gamble 3 times in the face. He staggered backwards, a look of confusion clear on his face. Belcher gave him the space and time to clear his head, and Gamble charged in to wrestle. He was unable to bring his extra height and weight to bear, though, and after a brief struggle, Belcher stumbled and slipped to the ground. Gamble's backers took this as a positive sign and loudly offered odds on their man, but when the pair came back up to scratch, it was clear that Belcher was unharmed. The next few rounds were dominated by Belcher. He put his man down again and again, but to his credit, Gamble kept coming back for more. After one particularly hard shot to the face, Gamble staggered backwards with blood streaming down his face, but the jeering of the crowd seemed to spur him on, and he charged forwards once more, throwing Belcher hard to the ground and landing on top of him. Belcher, seeing that Gamble was close to losing his cool completely, stuck out his tongue and began to insult him. At the start of the next round, he charged in, but Belcher was having none of it. He caught him again and again until a solid blow to the side of Gamble's neck dropped him. But in the terminology of the day, Gamble was a true glutton. He managed to get back up to the line, his face swollen and his right eye closed, blood still flowing freely from his nose. Belcher dished out more punishment until a perfectly timed blow to the mark, followed up by a solid shot to the liver, dropped Gamble doubled up to the floor, gasping for breath. Jem Belcher of Bristol, grandson of Jack Slack, was champion of all England. Gamble's backers deserted him, one even offering a £500 reward for anyone who could prove that Gamble had deliberately thrown the fight. No one managed to claim the money, but it didn't matter. His reputation was gone, and not being able to find anyone to back him in the ring, he moved back to Ireland and gave up fighting for good. Hey, how you doing? Well done for making it to the end of the video. Most people drop out before they get to this far. If you've got here, just stick something in the comments, let me know that you did, because that's pretty cool. I wanted to ask you a favour. You may or may not have seen, but I've started a second YouTube channel. It's where I'm making videos about more general historical stuff. I think it's really interesting, but I didn't want to dilute the recreational violence that we have here on this channel. So if you're interested in history or just want to see more of this face, then go check it out. Let me know what you think. I'd really, really appreciate it. If you're just here for the fighting, then that's cool. Thanks for your support. I hope to see you soon.